the Chairman Organizing Committee, Penang International Multidisciplinary Conference 2021, held on 23rd to 24th January 2021, Penang, Malaysia. I thank members of this committee for offering me the opportunity to be part of this international conference. I earlier submitted the topic as the impact of government intervention, which I later made some slide modification and make it the role of government intervention as a policy instrument in promoting SMEs for sustainable economic developments. My name is Nuhu Tanko Danibrahim. The co-authors are Nuraini Bint Abu Talib, Umar Hayat bin Abdul Gohor, all of Azman International Business School, Universiti Teknologi, Malaysia. My organization is Federal College of Education, Technical Resource, Zamfara State, Nigeria. And the two co-authors are all from Azman International Business School, Universiti Teknologi, Malaysia. The abstract should remain the same. It reads as follows. The significance of small and medium-scale enterprises cannot be said to be overemphasized, going by its numerous contributions to the nation's socio-economic developments. Therefore, government intervention is required to create conducive climate and attract investors from within and outside the country. The government in Nigeria has created agencies to support SMEs, such as Small-Scale Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria, in brackets SMEDAN, Small and Medium-Scale Enterprises Investment Scheme, SMEs, in brackets, and National Economic Reconstruction Fund, NAFONS, in brackets, Bank of Agriculture, BOA, in brackets, and Bank of Industry, BOI, in brackets. The paper is meant to address government intervention for promoting SMEs. It also emphasizes the role of education and training in promoting entrepreneurial skills needed to make Nigerian labor a competent tool for development of an enterprise. It went further to elaborate on critical challenges facing SMEs in Nigeria, such as insufficient technology utilization, inadequate research and development, lack of long-term funding, inconsistency in government policy, lingering insecurity issues, unethical business practice, an unexpected pandemic, COVID-19, and weak enforcement of law to deal with criminals. In the light of these challenges, strategies for the promotion of SMEs developments, such as technological orientation, security intervention, etc., were provided. Introduction. Government intervention is a tool meant to embark for an action by government to implement relevant industrial policies that provide conducive climate and environment for SMEs. In this direction, there are scholars like Al-Naid et al. 2018, who defines it as government role for boosting entrepreneurial activities, which direct the growth and development of SMEs. Most governments take a far-reaching measure to encourage the production and massive acceptance of local products to boost sales, encourage commercial and central bank to extend credit facilities to SMEs at low interest rate in order to make cash available for business activities. All these portray procedures carried out by the government of various regimes in order to enhance effective performance of small and medium-scale enterprises. Forms of intervention. Intervention can be in different forms, such as a power supply, development supports, financial assistance, a legal framework for smooth operations, infrastructure like road communication and transportation. Scholars like Injemanzi and Ifenuchu 2011 in bracket describe it as government effort to encourage SMEs growth, survival, and full participation in socio-economic development. The above forms of intervention, like power supply, is talking about electricity, financial assistance in form of subsidy loans, legal framework in form of new regulations that could promote ease of doing business for smooth operation of small and medium-scale enterprises. Infrastructures like good roads, communication system, and transportation, very important for conducive environment to enable SMEs to perform effectively within an economy and contribute meaningfully to a sustainable economic developments. Instrument of government intervention includes NAFONs, BOI, SMEs, and SMEs, etc. Their mandate does not stop at financial aspect alone. It includes training in form of seminar, workshop, and conferences to educate the SMEs owners in terms of capability for improved managerial skills, in organizing, planning, standardization, cost control, and quality of service delivered for effective performance. In the area of profit, output, employments, etc. It is important for us to understand that these intervention bodies do not stop at financial intervention alone. They also help in organizing seminars, workshops, and conferences to educate SMEs owners so that they can build their capacity to improve on managerial skills, so that they'll be able to organize their businesses in line with the modern trends, plan ahead of times, and conform with the required standard both at local and international level, and to also have a control measure in terms of cost control, so that they'll be able to produce this product at a very low cost and be able to sell it, and consumer will be able to buy this product at an affordable rates. And the quality of services delivered will also be very, very effective. And in that particular direction, they'll be able to make profits, and they will have increase in output, and at the same time generate job opportunity for individuals. We have scholars like Pettinger in 2019 who opined that government control market inequity through regulation, taxation, and subsidies to promote fairness and maximize their benefit. That also shows the importance of government interventions in the area of coming up with a regulation that control transaction activities of small and medium scale enterprises, and at the same time in the area of reducing taxes. Sometimes tax holidays are offered to SMEs owners, either or entrepreneurs from other countries, so that they'll be able to start on a very sound note and make substantial profit before they start paying taxes. And sometimes governments provide subsidies to promote fairness and maximize their benefits. An overview of SMEs. F. Young et al. 2018 reported that SMEs are more extensive, which demands formal relative structures. That could be reasons why intervention bodies like SMEs, etc. came on board in order to regulate the activities of SMEs, especially in the area of feasibility studies, market surveys, financial assistance, and non-financial assistance. Therefore, SMEs occupied an important place in every sector of the global economy as a result of the following. One, diversification and expansion. It is very easy, because of their smallness in size, to diversify it compared to larger organizations and expand very fast. Mobilization and utilization of local raw materials. The SMEs can easily mobilize and utilize local raw materials compared to larger organizations. Knowledge capabilities. They make use of their knowledge capabilities in enhancing their effective performance. They also have skills in organizing, planning, control, managerial, bookkeeping, and entrepreneurial attitudes for increased government revenue, wage creation, poverty reduction, and to curb rural-urban migration to various minimums. So SMEs are known for that. Most of them are very skillful in organizing their businesses, in planning ahead of time. They look at what happened yesterday and what is happening currently, so that they'll be able to plan for the future. And they also embark on control measures to avoid excess waste managerial skills is being applied in most of their activities. Bookkeeping, they tend to give good records of their activities and imbibe the culture of managerial entrepreneurial attitudes, and that helps to increase government revenue. Also create wealth, reduce poverty, and also it curb rural-urban migration to the BRS minimums, because rural-urban migration tend to bring overpopulations in the cities and could lead to petty crimes, especially where you have a large number of youths as labor that doesn't have skills. Many could be lured into petty crimes. The economic imperatives of SMEs. SMEs are noticed in the area of mobilization of ideal resources. SMEs mobilize resources that are not being put into functions, into a functional operational procedures, thereby creates opportunity for employment and make profits, and at the same time reduce poverty in the society. Creating competition through variety of products and services. A lot of products and services have been produced through small and medium scale enterprises that compete side by side with other SMEs and offer opportunity for consumer to make a choice among these products and services. Reducing pressure on foreign exchange demands. Most SMEs, because of their smallness in nature, rely much more on local raw materials. Therefore, they demand less of foreign currencies or hard currencies for their raw materials. Therefore, offer opportunity for the government to preserve their hard-earned foreign currency. Provide immediate services and supply to larger firms. There are other waste products of small and medium-scale enterprises that are much more useful to larger organizations, like small-scale farmers in the agricultural sector that produces maize, millets, guinea corns. The shafts could be converted into poultry feeds. So larger poultry organizations could buy this waste and feed their pets, and therefore at a very controlled price, and lessen the cost of rearing some of these chickens and so on and so forth. Employment generation and sources for innovation. They serve as employment generators and also provide opportunity for innovative activities. We have scholars like Ibrahim et al. 2020, Dimoji et al. 2016, Ogbari 2018, and Okeke 2016 all have a similar view in these particular directions. The importance of SMEs made several regimes to implement policies and guidelines to promote SMEs activities. Scholars like Disos Jabo et al. 2020 identified factors that influence SMEs performance, such as environmental, social, and financial, with special emphasis on their role for sustainable development in the area of providing employment, income distributions, growth and export promotions, and consumption of raw material, in addition to waste reductions, as well as poverty reduction and the role of Asian Development Bank in that particular directions. Some of the challenges include lack of access to finance and information, inadequate infrastructure for SMEs developments, and low utilization of ICT skills, poor research and development in SMEs sector with short duration for loan repayments, high interest rate with demand for collateral security, lack of knowledge, capability, skills with entrepreneurial attitudes, inadequacies in training and inconsistencies in government policies, security challenges or security issues, kidnapping, banditry, and unethical business practices, COVID-19 pandemics, and poor technology, including religious factors, fluctuation in foreign currency exchange rate, and weak regulatory framework, inadequacies in criminal law for the protection of investors and promotion of sustainable SMEs economic developments. Most SMEs don't have access to finance and don't even have enough information to guide them on how to source for funds. There is issue of inadequate infrastructures or total decay in most of the infrastructures, and that affects their developments. And low utilization of ICT skills. Some don't even have the skills, talk less of even using it. Poor research and development. Many don't have enough funds to finance research and developments in the sector. And coupled with that, there's also short duration for loan repayments. When they obtain loans in the bank, it takes a shorter time for them to repay back, which is not very easy to make profit and pay back. High interest rate with demand for collateral security. Some of these banks, after giving loans with high interest rates, and they have to mortgage their properties before even the loan could be advanced to them, which is also a very big challenge. Not every SMEs has the capacity for such a requirement. Lack of knowledge, capability, skill with entrepreneurial attitude. Many don't have entrepreneurial attitudes and don't have even the capability skills. So it affects them. It's a big challenge. Inadequacies in training and inconsistency in government policies. Many don't have opportunity for training and in-house training within the organization, and the government doesn't have a stable policy. Regime A may come in with a good policy that favor SMEs. After that regime is defeated and is out of the system, the new regime coming in may decide to change their direction. So it affects most SMEs, growth and performance. Security issues. Security is a big challenge. It leads to kidnapping, banditry, and unethical business practices. It's a big challenge to most of them. COVID-19 pandemics and poor technology. Most SMEs, especially in the face of current COVID-19, they are finding it very difficult to survive because it affects their demands and it affects their supplies. So automatically there is poor sales in the markets, and many don't have the technology to embark on online sales. And the religious factor also affect them too, and so on and so forth. You cannot go to a Muslim-dominated area to embark on wine production or beer production. Nobody will buy. Even if you buy, it will affect the demands and will invariably affect the supplies. So you will not be able to make enough profits. Or for instance, somebody embark on the poultry farming in form of piggery farming, producing pork meat. Not everybody consumes pork meat. Religious factor affects the demands and sales of that particular products. Fluctuation in foreign currency exchange rates. Many countries' foreign exchange currencies tend to go too low because there are other foreign currencies that are much more higher and they fluctuate time to time. And automatically, if an SMEs rely much on foreign currency for raw materials and other supplies, they find it very difficult to survive. And where you have a weak regulatory framework, the laws are very weak, automatically it will not favor the SMEs, and things will not go well with them. Inadequacies in criminal law for the protection of investors. There are adequacies in some of the criminal law in some countries, and that could not protect most of the investors. Therefore, it discouraged them going to such countries to go and invest. Promotion of, and it affects promotion of sustainable SMEs economic developments. Literature review. We have Stoll and Barbary, who describe government intervention as an action used by government to change the behavior of SMEs for positive performance through regulation, financial incentive, and education. Is one among the scholars that conduct research on government interventions, and he defined government intervention in these particular directions based on laws, based on financial incentive, based on education and training, as well as knowledge. Ismail, et al. 2015, opined that it is important to examine different techniques in order to understand the regulatory framework guiding the operation of SMEs. Gandhi and Amisa emphasized on financial resources as critical issues. Ibitu et al. 2016 reported that success of SMEs was very high due to dependence on financial assets. Kalinovsky 2016 argued that government assistance to Poland was unorganized, fragmented, and not targeted, at beneficiaries. This indicated a liquidity gap. Therefore, government has to collaborate with SMEs to improve knowledge, capability, skills, and entrepreneurial attitudes for SMEs performance, which means intervention should not be on financial aspect alone. It has to involve non-financial aspects. In the main body of the paper submitted, if you go on, illustrates government's intervention in terms of providing skills, knowledge, and attitudinal training that acts as moderating influence between stock of entrepreneurial competencies and SMEs performance. Gravo 2019 revealed that government intervention will improve SMEs performance and job opportunity for low and middle income countries. Lee and Zhu 2018 agreed that government support expand research and development, as well as intellectual property right for SMEs, investment in assets, human resources, and marketing activities. Therefore, government played critical role for SMEs in providing access to finance, promotion of services, developing capacity, and marketing programs. Many researchers conducted research on government intervention and their operations. Yu et al. 2020 conducted research on impact of political connections. We knew political connection is very important for SMEs to survive. SMEs that have stronger ties with political bodies tend to make it better in the markets than those that doesn't have ties with the governments. Liu et al. 2020, in the adoption of green innovation, innovative activities helped small and medium-scale enterprises to grow faster to higher level and compete favorably and have an advantage over their competitive partners in the markets. Nasir 2019 on policy assistance. There are most government policies as a form of intervention that favors small and medium-scale enterprises, like in the area of tax reductions and some regulations. Al-Naid 2016. Reasons for government intervention on small and medium-scale enterprises. One of the cogent reasons there is to correct market failure for sustainable small and medium-scale enterprises performance and develop legal framework for ease of doing business. Secondly, to achieve equitable distribution of income, wealth creation, and mobilize resources for sustainable development. Thirdly, to improve small and medium-scale enterprises performance for increased outputs, profit, employment, and investments. Challenges of not having government intervention. Government intervention in form of non-financial intervention, like in the area of organizing seminar, workshop, training to provide skills opportunity for a labor force is very, very important. So in a situation where a large number of labor force doesn't have skills, it affects their mobility. Therefore, one of the challenges is immobility of labor. And the few that operate within the economy will monopolize the system. And therefore, you tend to have monopoly within the economy, which may require education, training, knowledge, and capability skill as a solution to become competent tool for intervention policy measure. Conclusion: government intervention is an interesting aspect of introducing reform in both managerial and economic well-being of small and medium scale enterprises activities. Recommendations: intervention should be objectively done and not fragmented, that it should be directed towards those that require this. It should be well packaged and directed at the beneficiaries, not non-beneficiaries. It should include financial and non-financial packages, that is both financial and non-financial package in form of intervention is very, very important, such as providing infrastructure as well as security interventions. There should be consistency in government policy, that is whatever a government starts, once that government is out of power, the incoming government should be able to complete that particular program, in as much as that program is going to be for the betterment of the society. Reduction in interest rates is very, very important. Some government emphasizes single-digit interest rates, okay, for small and medium-scale enterprises. Then reduction in taxation. Tax rates should be reduced to the barest minimum that can be affordable by small and medium-scale enterprises. In some cases, tax holidays can be declared for some of these small and medium-scale enterprises, so that they'll be able to grow and get to the maturity stage where they can buoyantly pay a very good tax. Technology orientation. Technology orientation is very important. It makes their work very faster. It makes them to produce at a very cheaper rates, and that will promote a sustainable development within the economy. Thank you for good listening.